Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Underground Podcast. I am your host, The Baddest, and today, for our very first episode, we got a versatile and talented rapper, singer, songwriter. Please, everybody, welcome Blospar.
Hi, it's me.
Welcome. So just before I get into questions and stuff, is there anything you want to say to the audience to introduce yourself, where you're from, preferred pronouns, anything like that?
My name's Blospar. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is in Canada. It's on the very, very east coast. No, that's pretty much it. That's
All right, sounds good.
yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'm just going to get into my questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so first and foremost, a question I'm sure you've been asked before. How did you first get into making music, and what were some of your biggest inspirations?
So in early high school, I think in grade 10, I didn't have Spotify or Apple Music, so I was jamming a lot on SoundCloud because SoundCloud is one of the best places for free music, to listen for free. So I got into a lot of at that time emo artists, underground emo rap type stuff. There's a rapper called Garden and Convolk, and there was at the time a person named Ninetails who now goes by Sewer Person. Anyways, they were big influences, and I loved listening to their music, and I used to try to write music. I used to try, emphasis on try. I never used to do it, and you see, the biggest issue was I recorded. I thought these songs sounded great, but every time I went to go record, I sounded off beat on these old songs. I used to record on Audacity. Matter of fact, I still record on Audacity, then ship over the MP3 files or the WAV files over to FL Studio. But anyways, from when I first started recording songs back in 2019, they always came off beat because my dumbass was using Bluetooth headphones. I was not using wired-in headphones. So for the first year of me making music, I didn't take it that serious. I didn't actually publish anything when I first started wanting to create stuff. I've always kind of been a creative person, but I didn't post anything because I'm like, man, I thought these songs sounded great, but now they sounded off beat, and I just thought I sucked at making music until my friend came over one day and was just like, why do we sound off beat now? And then he realized we were recording on Bluetooth headphones. But yeah, and then I've been making music pretty consistently since about December 2020. So for the past 4 coming on 5 years soon, I've been uploading a song pretty consistently. I used to do once every month, and then once I was consistent enough with that, I moved to drop a song once every 2 weeks, and now I'm at a point where I release a song every single week. So
Yeah, it's cool. It's very impressive that you're able to do once a week. And yeah, it's great to always give your audience something to look forward to as well. Next question I have is, where did the name Blospar come from?
the Blospar name is so stupid. Okay, so I used to play a ton of Roblox. I don't play Roblox. I got banned from Roblox. We're not going to talk about that. Anyways, all of my fuck Roblox now. I'm boycotting Roblox. I was pissed, man. I had a 4-letter username, and I had hundreds of thousands of Robux. Man, I was rich balling on Roblox. Anyways, I used to play a ton, and I'm a nerd, right? So I played a Risk. Do you know the board game Risk? Have you ever heard of the board game Risk? Okay, it's a strategy board game. And anyways, I played it on Roblox, and you made it. It was like a strategy role play game. There was no actual game. It was all role play, and you made your own country. And I remember making my own country down, and I made my own country called Blospar. And how I got that name is I went on a random country generator, custom country name generator. And I remember the top one, it gives you a big list of names. I remember the top one said Blow, and then the bottom one said Spar, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run that as Blospar. So that was kind of my country name for a random Risk roleplay on Roblox. That was that. And I was like, man, this is a killer name. If I ever make music, I should do that. That was a few years before I ever made music. So
That is such a good story. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
All right. Getting more into your sound and what you actually do. You've experimented with a lot of sounds and subgenres over the years. If someone asks you to define your style, what is it you tell them?
Bro, I don't know half the time. People ask that all the time, and I'm just like, I make alt rock, alternative pop, and I make everything because I sing, I rap, I do little bits of everything, and it's hard to describe. And that's one thing that's just like a blessing and a curse, where I'm good at multiple genres, but at the same time, I don't like sticking to just one genre. So at sometimes where it's good because it shows my versatility, but sometimes it sucks for like cultivating like a fan base, because there's people who are like, oh, I really like this type of songs that you make, and it's like, well, what if I don't want to make those type of songs, right? It's not like the only type that I make, so I make everything. So yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Um, and we just talked about how you do a song once a week. So I'm curious to know, what does the song making process look like for you, from actually conceiving an idea to writing to getting a song out there? What's the process look like for you?
So usually, I used to go look on YouTube at certain producers that I was connected with. So um I don't pay for music. I don't do any pay of anything for leases or anything like that. I don't know if you're familiar with like releasing beats.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you want to put it on all platforms, you have to lease a beat for X amount of dollars, and then you can put it on all platforms. Anyways, I ain't got the money to be doing that. Okay, I'm in school. I'm becoming a teacher. I got bigger things to spend money on. Anyways, I only I only work on beats that the producer, I have their permission to go 50-50 splits with on DistroKid. The DistroKid is my distributor. That's what a lot of people will be using because it's cheap, affordable, and
Mm-hmm.
it gets the job done. Anyways, so first off is I pick a beat. Actually, a lot of people write on their own time. I don't write unless I got a beat. So I actually have like a ton of folders on my computer of different producers that have sent me beats over the last couple of years, and they're producers that I'm in touch with, right? That they know that we're going 50-50 on all and splits on everything, so I can release it on all platforms. But they send me a beat pack once every little bit, and then I plop it into that folder, and then when I want to make a song, which is quite often, I want to make a song. I love writing music. I love just brainstorming. I click on a beat, I look through the folders, I click on different beats until I find one I'm jamming with, and I just kind of start making my sound on there. I try to like freestyle on it for a little bit, and then I kind of come up with a melody or something, or some bars, and I record in Audacity, like the free audio software,
Hey,
because
I'm using Audacity right now.
you're using Audacity right now? Hell yeah. No, Audacity's where it's at, and Audacity's so straightforward. So people get on my ass for not recording in FL Studio, which is valid. It will probably save me about like 20 minutes of time where I have to like go export all these little tracks. I have to the files into its own file and then import it into FL. I could save a lot of time, but I don't. I don't care. I love Audacity. Audacity's so simple to use. I loved it. And then I just export the files, bring it over. Sorry, I was drinking my mug and I got a burp. Anyways, I take it over to FL Studio, and I throw some preset plugins on there. And the preset plugins, I had no idea how to mix my entire life. My mix and masters used to suck. I used to pay someone to do my mix and masters, but about 3 years ago, I stuck it to myself. I'm like, you know what, Grant, you got this. You are going to mix and master yourself. And it took me a little bit, and like off and on, I paid for some, like half and half. I paid for some mix and masters if I felt like I couldn't do it, and then on other ones I did myself. But now, for the last like year and a half, I've done them all myself. But I don't know half the time what I'm doing on FL Studio. FL Studio is so unintuitive. It's not very straightforward, and so I relied a lot on presets that just existed on the internet. And once again, my ass is not paying for no presets. So on my already cracked FL Studio, obviously I don't got the paid FL Studio. Okay, they're gonna come for me for saying that, but
Mm-hmm.
man's You gotta do what you gotta do, right? And then the presets, the best presets, I'm telling you, if you need to get free presets, just go search up whatever type of genre of music you're in or the artist name, and then put vocal presets Reddit. I swear to God, Reddit will just have free presets chilling around. Keep in mind, it's a little sketchy to download. Don't blame me if you get a virus or anything. But what I'm saying is I downloaded so many friggin' presets off of Reddit. I'm telling you, these Reddit motherfuckers could have invaded my PC with how much shit I was downloading off there. But I found a few that have worked over the years, some of the presets, right? Like you just fuck around with each preset and then you kind of get a sound that you like and then you know what to do with each preset and then you slowly tweak and edit the pre-made preset till it becomes your own almost, right? Over time, I have basically my own presets founded from another preset. And then I slap over a master on that track, which is a once again a preset that I downloaded from Reddit. So we ballin' on that distorted master, and then I tend to put it on SoundCloud and just leave it as a private file for a little bit, just to test how loud it is, because I need to make sure it's kind of the same volume, like make sure the volume's okay.
Yeah.
And then I put it into DistroKid afterwards. So on DistroKid, you just upload the audio, the picture or whatever your cover art, and then I make sure to go 50-50 splits like most artists, like underground artists, have DistroKid. So I just get their email and then I put their email in, and then I will offer them like a split, like I put 50-50 on it, and then boom, my song's out. I usually have at least like 2 weeks in advance of songs, so like if I do get in a little lull, even though I tend not to, it's very rare I've ever been in a lull, but I tend to have at least 2 weeks in advance of songs that are like ready to be released. There you go, there's my long-winded.
Cool. No, we love a thorough answer. It's actually funny. You mentioned how you used to go on YouTube and look up. I assume you would look up, because I have a little bit of experience in myself, which I'll get into. I assume you would look up like free for profit beats.
Yes, exactly, because the free for profit people don't care about it as much, and a lot of those were either free, were mostly free, and like that's what I want. I don't need to buy the lease, right? So that's what I did use for the first little bit, and then I found people that were like kind of chill, like they still lease their beats, but with me, since I made music for a while. Like once you start making music, other people will start to recognize you a little bit. Not saying like I'm recognized for clout, but like they see you around, and I see them around, and I show them love, they show me love, and then I'm able to use their beats.
Yeah, I know that happens because what I was getting at is the way I first discovered you was back when I was in high school. I had a little phase where I wanted to make music, and I would look up these free for profit beats. And the way I discovered you is I saw you in the comment section on a beat made by someone I'm sure you'll recognize the name of, Saint Mike.
Saint Mike, goat.
Yeah, one of the goats. One of the goats of free for profit beats. And and that's how I first found you, and I saw the music video for I Feel Like Shit.
Fucking classic that one is.
That's the Blospar classic.
Yeah, exactly. Saint Mike, legendary. I use so many Saint Mike beats. Saint Mike, I don't use his beats anymore. I just never got like super like in touch with him, and I never actually asked him to go 50-50, and I was getting a lot of beats at the time anyways, so I just kind of fell out with him. But nothing bad or anything. I just stopped using his beats, and I never ended up asking for 50-50 splits. Right now I use a lot of Yunny Gold's beats. But anyways, Saint Mike, the first 2.5 years of I made music, if you go look back, I swear, if like out of 10 songs, eight of them are going to be produced by Saint Mike. I was balling on the Saint Mike train.
Yeah. So you just said now that you rarely find yourself in a lull. So maybe you'll have a different kind of answer for this. I'm wondering, what are some of the difficulties you've encountered creating music and trying to express your creativity?
Sometimes I find it frustrating when I can't get the mix right. That's actually the hardest thing for me, is getting the mix right. Like sometimes I feel like a song sounds great in Audacity when it's just straight up raw, but then when I actually go to make it sound more refined, it sounds like shit, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? So that's the most difficult part actually for me creatively is when I toss it over to FL Studio and I actually have to make it more refined. So that's why I like putting on one thing that saves my ass a lot of the time, since I'm not no audio engineer and most people aren't, but I'm not familiar with FL Studio. Is I'm telling you, distorted masters. You toss that distorted master on there with a destructor, all the little like scratches and little tiny pops just turn into part of the mix and master. Like it's pretty godlike. It's pretty good. And then the other thing is the other big difficult thing is right now I live at home. I'm in school to I'm in university. I just graduated with my history degree and I'm becoming a teacher. Anyways, long story short, I live at home and this is in the basement. I got my setup down in the basement. So I can't record too often when there's people home because you'll hear the thumping from up the stairs, from like upstairs. You'll hear people walking around, and it will sound like a weird bass note in the recording when I record vocals. If someone's walking around, it's like a weird bass note just randomly hits because there's people walking around upstairs. So that's actually difficult finding time to record. It's not like I love recording and I have free time to record. It's just the issue that I live in a house with other people. I live in a house with my family, right? So they're doing other shit too, and I'm not going to be like, all right, guys, everybody pause. I need to record a song. So I try to find time in like the mornings when everyone's gone, and like on certain on weekends a lot of the time. Actually, my family's all gone. My dad works, my mom goes out to the gym, my sister probably does shit all the time, and on the weekends I work every weekend, but I work the closing shift, so I don't have to leave until like 1:30 p.m. So in the morning on weekends I try to find a time to record. But that's one of my other hardest things.
Yeah, I totally relate to that because I too live at home. This is also in the basement. So yeah, I totally get that. It's always hard to make time for when you're alone and you can have the sound. And also I don't know if you experience this. I get embarrassed when people hear me record. I don't know if you ever feel that way. I don't like when people could hear me recording, so that's another thing I experience.
I don't mind. There has been a few times where I really wanted to record a song and I was like, can we all like settle down for a moment just so I can really record this song? But no, I don't have a problem with that actually. I don't get embarrassed about that.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So we've talked about your approach to making music, and you've kind of already gotten into it a little bit, so no pressure on a long answer for this one, but looking back on the years you've been making music, what differences do you notice in the way you approach your craft, and what have you done to improve over time?
My lyrics have improved over time a ton. Like if I go back to like the first year and a half of my music, it's a lot of my songs, like to me, other people love them, right? There's some Blospar classics in there, but to me, a lot of them, it's just like, oh man, some of them lyrics could have been improved so much. Like, I guess they were just pretty raw. I get right to the point. I say what I'm trying to say, which isn't bad, but some of it comes off kind of stupid. So one of my popular songs right now that's still on my Spotify, and it was literally my 4th song ever. Okay, it's called "Please Add Me on Snapchat." Okay, and this like. I personally cannot stand this fucking song, okay? But I keep it up. One thing I'm very firm about is I will never take down a song. If I put a song up, at that time I was confident enough. I've got to have some balls and back that shit up when I get older, okay? And that's a piece of me, and I know other people like their songs, actually. And it pissed me off one time in high school. This might be a little controversial. I'll say it, though. Basically, I used to listen to a bunch of Parker, okay? Parker, the hyperpop artist, okay? And then they transitioned to Osquin, okay? And I have no problem with that, but they took down all their music before when they were a guy, like when they used to make music under Parker, since they didn't like their voice, and it pissed me off so much. It's like Osquin, we support your new music, we support your transition, but you didn't have to take down all your old music, and it hurt me as a listener because I really loved the old songs too, just as I loved the new songs they were making, and it just made me sad, and I realized that was something I learned where if I became an artist, I wouldn't want to do that to someone else. So despite there's songs that I have that I don't enjoy anymore and I think are embarrassing, there's other people who do actually listen to them. So Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And also, I would agree. As someone that has listened to you for a few years and also for putting together this interview, went through a lot of your catalog. Um, I would definitely say,
I have a lot of songs out. I don't know if you noticed that.
yeah, there's a lot of songs out, and I would definitely say your writing has improved over time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah, um, kind of a throwaway question that I'm sure again you've answered before, but I'm curious. Do
Yeah.
you have a dream collaboration or a dream artist you would want to work with, dead or alive?
Hmm. That's that's a good question that I don't think about too often, honestly. I'm a very person that just kind of I do what I do and I make music with people because a lot of the people that I make music with are good. Like, no offense to all the big artists, but dog, there's people on SoundCloud with like 100 followers that be making music just as good. Okay, like I don't need a lot of
I
these
mean, yeah,
people.
I know that. That's why I'm trying to start this show.
But I guess I I I love. There's an old emo rapper named Convolk. He doesn't make music anymore, but I would love to have a song with him. I loved him during high school. One person actually that I would love. There's two people actually I would love to make a song with actually. One's BLP Kosher. I don't know if you know him. He's like
I've
the
heard the
guy who
name.
like yeah, he has like two like popping out dreads out the side, and he's always rapping about him being a Jew, and it's just what he says. It's just what he is, and I don't know. I love his music so much, and he's very versatile. Even though he's known for his rap stuff, but if you actually listen through his full album releases, he has some nice like alternative rock ones that splashed in there too. And then the other person that I would love to make a song with is someone nobody probably knows. He has about 30,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and his name's DJ Lucas. And I take so much inspiration from this motherfucker. This motherfucker is just like the most random person that I found one time when I was just like auto playing on SoundCloud. And last year he was my number one most listened. I don't know if he's going to be my number one most listened this year, but he's going to be at least in the top 5 on Spotify when I be listening to shit. But I take a lot of inspiration from him. His name's DJ Lucas, and he's always references that he's from Western Massachusetts. He's like Western Mass, and he makes the most absurd references to where he lives, and I love that. It's so good. It's so good how he just has these consistent callbacks to like these random ass spots, like these random ass names of these places that he's always repping. Like where the fuck is Amherst? And all I know is there's an Amherst in Western Massachusetts, and there's a university there, and there's a lot of he parks a lot there, and he gets a lot of parking tickets because it's a college town, and he's always trying to find parking. And there's just so much stupid shit in his songs that he like reps the place he's from, which is just like in the middle of nowhere. So that's what's kind of funny about it. So
Uh
I
huh.
love my songs recently in the last like 2 years. I've been repping the Halifax, Nova Scotia. Even though I have no connection here, I don't mind if I move. Like I'm not actually that deeply invested in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I just think it's funny to like rep where I'm from and like talk about a little bit where I'm from. So
Yeah, that's cool. I'll have to check that out for sure. Um, yeah, and I love what you said about how there are people on SoundCloud that have so few followers but are still making really high quality music. That's kind of again why I wanted to start this show, because yeah, back in like the SoundCloud era and even to this day, I would just love going on SoundCloud and looking for small underground artists and finding some
exactly.
really cool, sometimes some really experimental stuff, and
Yeah.
they're getting like 1,000 plays a song, if even that.
Yeah, I know, I know. I definitely agree. I don't listen on SoundCloud as my main listening platform. I listen on Spotify now,
Yeah,
but I go on SoundCloud a ton, right? Since I'm an artist on there, and one key part of being part of the community is also listening and interacting with other people on SoundCloud. That's what makes SoundCloud so great, in my opinion. That it doubles as like a almost social media, as in like you can comment on other songs unlike any other song. I guess on YouTube you can comment, but on SoundCloud there's more of a community where like you comment and interact and repost. There's more of like a community aspect about that,
yeah,
and that's one thing where I still listen a ton on SoundCloud for like other people's stuff and like that I leave comments on and I interact with. But my main listening, like if I was about to hop in the car and go listen to stuff, it'd be on Spotify. But a
Yeah,
lot of
me
them
too.
can be artists that I've got from SoundCloud, right?
Yeah. All right. Fun question. Um, you delve into some serious subjects in your music on occasion about heartbreak and self-esteem. How has your mental health and personal struggles impacted your approach to writing and producing music?
I guess just write what's going on in my life. So, if I am self-conscious about something, I'll write about it. And, if I'm having a hard time about something, I'll write about it. I like writing music. Like I said, I don't have any problem getting stuff down. Like, I choose a beat and I just start ripping on it. And whatever's going on in my life at the time is just what ends up on the page, what ends up on the motherfucking Google Docs, which is where I'd be typing all my music. I got a Google Docs account just all lyrics in there, songs, and just whatever's going on in life, whether that is, like some mental health or I'm worried, I'm stressing about something, I got anxiety about shit, or if that's, me at work a ton, me at school, me loving my new car, it's, I'm just writing about what's going on in the moment.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Um, I assume no, just based on your answer, but do you ever feel maybe a little self-conscious about putting that out there into the world?
I tend not to. No, I'm not too worried about that. I actually remember when I released "I Feel Like Shit," a callback to that, and that was very early on in my music making career. It probably would have been in my first 10 songs. I think it was like still like early because considering I have 160, 150 songs out right now, that definitely within the first couple of months of me making music. I remember my mom talked to me and she's like, "Are you sure you want to be releasing this kind of stuff?" Like she sat me down and like talked to me about like, this probably isn't great for you at high school. You get like made fun of or something because I was in high school at the time, and I remember her sitting me down and talking to me about it. But I said no. I'm like, I'm okay with this. This is a banger. And no, I didn't get bullied at high school for it, so I'm chilling.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's also, I don't know how, do you ever have like fans of yours reach out to you about how the lyrics are relatable, or how they have like a more personal connection to the music because of
The
that?
odd time. Yeah, the odd time I do
Yeah.
get the odd one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a,
Especially, a lot of time they don't hit you up like in their DMs. They actually just leave comments on
yeah, yeah,
SoundCloud
yeah.
a lot. That's what it ends up being.
Yeah. I think it's important for people of music to put themselves into it the way you do. So I respect that you do that. Um,
Thanks.
and another question about your lyrics. Another fun one. In tracks like, just for example, Stars and Stripes, Mad Hatters, and CIA Flow, you get more into your politics and the political climate. What is your goal and thought process when you cover such subject matters in your music?
Man. So, I hate to say this, man. I love and hate politics so much. I have
I
such a
hear
love-hate
that.
relationship with politics. I try to stay out of it, but sometimes it's like, man, like this shit juicy sometimes, bro. Imagine it's like watching a reality TV show, yet it's the biggest people in the fucking world. And anyways, politics is crazy, but a lot of the time I'm actually like a history major, right? So I try to
Hmm.
put a lot of like historical bars into a lot of these songs, and what happens today is going to be the history of tomorrow, right? So I make songs more about that and their politics, but a lot of them, except the Mad Hatter one is an exception, but most of them actually have a bit more of a historical politic vibe to them because I'm a history major and I just talk about shit that happened, whether that's and I try to be actually I'm making fun of certain people in certain songs, but I actually try to be a little neutral on some things. So in my song Mad Hatters that you mentioned, I do have points that I'm dissing the Democrats too. Like I'm
Hmm.
not just dissing Republicans, all right? Like I said, in the song I have something about no big deal to bomb our Iran, but Obama did it, so it's okay. So like I have stuff like that, right? And I have little digs all over there, and I hate motherfucking Trump. That's just how it be. But I'm Canadian, so you're forced to hate the dude. But I like I like history, and I took a lot of politics classes. So my major's in history, and my minor's in English, because you can't have a minor in politics and history then be a teacher, because they're both under social studies. So, but I did take a lot of politics class during my university the last 4 years. So, whatever we'd be talking about, sometimes I just write it out for a song. And Mad Hatters is for a class, actually. I took a class on political imagery.
Really?
Yes, I took a class in university last year. It was, the last semester, I think. I took a class on political imagery, and most classes you have to write some kind of research paper, but he was firm on no research paper. There was just a creative project, and you had to do a creative project. So I chose the political imagery of the red hats with the white text, like the "Make America Great Again" hats. So I thought that was kind of cool. I made a song on that. So that's actually for a class. That's why if you listen to the very start, I actually shout out my professor in the very start of that song. I say, "Shout out Jeff McLeod."
Oh, okay. I just assumed that was some political figure I didn't know of, because I tried to avoid politics.
No, that's my fucking professor who allowed me to make a song for the creative project. So that was my little shout out there. So
That's great. That's so cool. Have you I'm just wondering now, have you made music for other classes or other outside sources or reasons like that?
don't think so. I think that was the only time I connected something from like the outside world into my release schedule. Like I did. I think that is the only time. Yeah, I've helped people with the project. There was a guy. I regret not taking the class. I regret not taking I don't know why I didn't take it. It actually pisses me off that I didn't realize this class even existed. There was a history of rap class.
Oh, really?
Why did I not take that as an elective? I have no idea, man.
That sounds cool.
But I was piling up my all my slots with history and politic courses. I didn't even look at that. I did take a history of music culture and music. I took a course on that. But I should have taken this history of rap course, because in it you got to make a song. You got to make a song as one of the projects, and I helped my buddy make one. So that was. But other than that stuff, no.
Well, speaking of your music buddies, I'm wondering, just kind of, how have you made connections with other artists in your kind of general field? Because I've seen you do with collaborations with various other artists. How do you come across them? How do you get into contact with them? And do you have any lasting relationships with any of them?
Yeah, so almost every single artist that I make a song with, I know them from SoundCloud. First off, like I get to know them from SoundCloud, and then we just start interacting with each other. And then once we interact with each other enough, and we talk the odd time on Instagram, like I reply to their stories and shit. The odd time I hit them up to make a song, and then if we stay consistent and attached, we make more songs later on. Like there's two big people that I've been that I make songs with. One's name is Vales, and then another person's name is Devin's World. And I've been making songs with them for like the last 2-3 years pretty consistently. They've been like in my life, like in my music kind of side of my life for a while now. And we make songs with each other all the time, and we just hit each other up when we got an open. So you intentionally make, like when you make a song, I don't like sit down and make one there for like with them real time. I just like make a song and then I leave a gap in it, and then I'm like, oh, this would fit well for so and so. One thing about my features, like when I write opens for people, I don't get people on my songs that I haven't interacted with a lot. So the only people who are getting on my songs are like people that actually interact with me and I interact with them. It's not like I'm not doing no one-way street. Like if I'm the only person hitting you up and you got no interest in me, I don't want you on my songs. Like that's just how it is. I want the person to actually be invested in me. So one issue that I need to work out with myself is being okay with letting newer people come onto my songs that I don't talk to a whole lot because it will bring in our newer audience. That's what I need to be okay with, but I typically reserve my opens for people that, interact with me more, right? Like people that actually are more involved in my music in general because they understand me, my style, what I'm looking for more. But there's certain opportunities that, I could message someone that the odd time like sees me around in the community, in the SoundCloud community, and then I could get them on a song, and maybe I could bud and flower into a new relationship, like music wise. But I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so a question for me as a listener. Do you think, obviously you do the weekly songs, which is great.
Yeah.
And again, it gives you the audience a lot of content. So you're not in need of, your audience isn't in need of more content or anything. But
No.
do you think there will ever come a time after it's been 3 years now? Do you think we'll get another Blospar album?
Maybe. I'd definitely release an EP sometime. That's something I'll commit myself to. I don't think albums are the way to go, though. So, I make music for me, but at the same time, I still have like a little bit of a dream that I'm trying to achieve. And the most efficient way to do that is by dropping singles. An album does not do well generally. It's an album does well if you already have a dedicated fan base, and sure, I have a few hundred people who wouldn't mind listening to that. But I think a Blospar album would be reserved. I've thought about it until I actually get a song that's like actually buzzing. Like I get like a decent amount of damn plays on it. Like we're not talking the little thousands. I'm talking like if I ever blew up, then I'd release an album. But a lot of the times, albums just aren't worth all the work and effort that I put into them just for certain people to skip over half the songs and some of the songs not get the traction they deserve. Where if I release them as singles, they probably would get way more traction. So yeah, that's what I that's the thing. I will, when I eventually ever do release an album, it will be called the Blospar Bible. That is what it will be called.
Okay.
But I don't know when that will be. It will be in a long time.
Okay. No, yeah, that's totally fair. I totally understand how singles benefit the artist in like the early stages much more.
Yeah, very much. Maybe eventually I'll consider it since you mentioned it to me. But but the most probably you'll get out of me for right now is an EP of like 4 or 5 songs would be the most I'd consider right now.
Yeah, which is reasonable. And you kind of touched on my final question there, which is, what do you hope to get out of your music career? Is there an end goal of some sorts or a dream that you want to achieve? Yeah, what is that goal for you?
I mean, I'm a realist. I'm about the facts. So I know that how unlikely it is that I have even a chance to pursue music as a full-time career. So I don't actually expect that by any means. But like I'm going to try my damn hardest to make that happen while still staying afloat in life and pursuing a normal path of life, right? So I'm still in school, becoming a teacher. I got 2 more years left, and then I'll be a teacher. It's 6 years to be a teacher here, man. That's fucking ridiculous. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. I'm being a student teacher next year. It's gonna be fun. I like history. I like yapping. So it'll be good. But I would love to make music full time as like a job, and I'm gonna try. I try my best. I'm committed to spending no money on music. That's one goal I do have, is that I will not spend any money. I don't care. I'm not spending any money on ads or anything. I will not spend any money. If I do blow up, it will be happening organically. That's just kind of it is. I'd love to be an artist, but I know it's feasibly not likely. So I don't, I'm not out here going to school for music or anything, because I know at the end of the day that shit's probably a waste of time. I'm more treated as a hobby, with like a very passionate hobby. That's kind of what I treat it as. So Yeah, I might actually slow down my releases when I become a teacher if it's too much. Like right now while I'm in school, I can still keep up. I don't know how, considering I work and have a girlfriend and you know make music. I still play a ton of video games too. Don't forget that. But I do a lot. I work a lot and I go to school and stuff. So I don't have a whole lot of time, but I still manage to get out a song every week. But if I do run out of time, I will just dial back and go back to every 2 weeks. That'll be it.
Yeah,
So,
which would still be understandable.
I plan on releasing for a while, so because I'm still very into the music. I told myself that I'd at least do it till I'm done school, but with how much I like making music, I'll probably continue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, that does it for all my questions. If there's anything else you want to cover or mention, now's your time. Now's your chance.
I think. No, not really. I just kind of make music about what's going on in my life. If I'd be playing hella Pokemon at the time, I'd be writing songs about some Pokemon shit. If I bought a new car recently, I'd be making songs about that car. That's just how I make my music. It's just what I do. I write about what's going on in my life. The odd time I have a song where I'm like, being stupid and just saying stupid shit. But a lot of the times, most of my songs are shit that's like, I'm thinking about currently. Like a lot of those politics songs are because, I'm in a politics class at the time, right? And I'd be thinking about this shit on, right? So, it's on my mind. And so when I write down here a beat, I'm like, oh shit, hold up, I can talk some political history, like I'm a badass motherfucker here. So I don't try to brag as in I got money. I make historical brag references. I think it's funny, like political ones or some stupid ass shit like that. So yeah.
All right, nice. So, viewers/listeners, make sure you check out Blospar. Links will be in the description. Follow them everywhere. Listen to their music. I hope you got to know something about them today. I hope you've been inspired to check them out. Again, that is the goal of the show, to get to know some of these underground artists you probably wouldn't hear about otherwise, and to give you guys the chance to check them out and hopefully hear some really damn cool music, because I'm making it a conscious effort with this show to only platform artists that I genuinely have an interest in and believe in. So, yeah, go check out Blospar on all platforms. And yeah, I think that's all we have to do. I think we're done here. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's no problem. Sorry that I was a little late on the delay.
No, that's all good. This is a great interview. I think this is a good first episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you think that was good, then I'm good with that. That's no problem.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Hell yeah.
Real tree shirt with a pair of Chewy jeans. Red as a tomato gas, I forgot the sunscreen.